Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So today here I have a very plain white box, but I'll show you what this box is. This is a Pelikan M800 box, and it's quite a big box. And I kind of feel that this is a one of these Russian doll type boxes, because now you'll see here it says M800 Royal Gold, and this is the Raden pen. So in this box is, if I manage to pull it out successfully, because it's really tight, another box. Now this is more of a shiny box. Now this is number 198 of 388, so there's 388 of these made worldwide, and this is a really special pen in my collection. This was my first broad Pelikan that I got. So let me open this box and you'll see there's another box. So now you can kind of see why I think that this is a Russian doll collection, because it's a box inside a box inside another box. But wait, you haven't seen anything yet. I lift the cover and there's another box. This is a crazy amount of boxes. This is the final box though. This is a lovely autographed by the authors of this pen, or the artists of the pen. And this is a Raden pen. So let me pull down the flap and remove the box. There's a number of things that we get inside the box. The first thing is you get a Royal Gold, Raden M800 Royal Gold by Hoshikai. And it basically shows you the pen there, and I'll read this out here. It says, Raden is a traditional Japanese decorative craft mainly used for lacquer, wear and woodwork. It is an extraordinary technique that inherits a perfect symbiosis of craftsmanship and art by working with small stripes of precious shell material, which is effectively abalone. The artist of the Raden pen creates a beautiful, impressive piece of art. Each piece is truly unique. The first step to create the fountain pen Raden M800 Royal Gold is to give the surface a deep black impression by using the special Japanese urushi lacquer. Then the typical stripes are made with particles from the precious white mother of pearl shell, or abalone. In a very sensitive way of treating the shell, the stripes are prepared. The shell is placed on the ground and flattened by hand with a hard stone with very thin sheets. These sheets are cut into narrow stripes, and a 24-karat gold foil is carefully affixed one by one to the backside of the stripes. A very practiced hand is needed to place the individual stripes around the cap and the barrel of the M800 fountain pen. The stripes are fixed to it by coating of lacquer. Afterwards, the complete fountain pen is once again coated with lacquer to protect the precious stripes. For a shiny finish, its surface is polished very carefully. Finally, the artist individually signs and numbers each fountain pen with the maquillé technique, which is used to be reserved exclusively for Japanese royals as an indication of the power. With the limited edition Raden series, Pelikan applies this wonderful Japanese decorative craft to the fountain pen models of its famous Souveron series. In 1929, Pelikan registered the patent for the differential piston mechanism, a new fountain pen filling system allowing to carry a larger amount of ink inside the pen. This technology, refined and updated, is still used today for all Pelikan piston fountain pens. The M800 is one of the flagship products of the Souveron series. It sticks out with a very large ink capacity and a smooth and reliable ink flow. The Raden M800 Royal Gold fountain pens are masterpieces with finely chased 18-karat gold nib in the size M, accentuated with a rhodium decor. Each fountain pen is cased in a traditional Japanese gift box, which is made of paulownia wood. The Raden M800 Gold will be available as from June 2017 in a limited number series of 388 pieces worldwide. And then what you also get here is the certificate, and this is pen number 198 of 388, and that just basically gives you the guarantee. So this is the box, the gift box it comes in, and if I lift the lid on this, you'll see why. I'll take the piece of foam off. The pen just sits in here. And it's such a lovely, lovely pen. And this is a pen that I really, really wanted to add to my collection. And it is a stunning pen. I've always wanted a Raden pen. I've always wanted a Maki-E pen. And for me, this was... when I was able to add this to my collection, when it was announced, I thought I have to get this pen. So you'll see here, like, initially I was kind of hoping actually that this would be an M1000, but because I like the size of the M1000, I love the bouncy nib on the M1000, and there are Raden versions of the M1000, but to be honest, now that I have this and I have other M800s, I actually prefer this. Now, this, for me, was probably a special turning point because this was my first broad nib on a Pelikan, and I liked it so much that I've got a broad nib on all of my other M800s. So this, for me, is a lovely, lovely pen, and I love the nib. So let me unscrew, and you'll see here, this has a lovely broad nib, and it's a super smooth nib. I really, really do like this nib, and that's really what made me. I had previously an M800 Renaissance Brown, and I had that in a medium pen or a medium nib, and I wasn't like, it was okay, but didn't feel like it was anything special, the writing experience. So I decided that this would be my first pen with a broad nib. If I didn't like the broad nib, then I could swap it out. And I got the broad nib on this, and I was really, really pleased. So pleased that, as I said, I decided to actually convert all of my Pelikans to broad nibs. And so every Pelikan I've picked up since has been a broad nib. And I love these. This is a juicy wet nib. It really, really is nice. But like, if I try to show you some of this Raden here, the Raden stripes, you can just see how they sparkle when you get a light source on them. And this really is what Raden is all about. And basically, Raden is a technique used. So really, it's as the instruction booklet said, it's a mother of pearl, or effectively abalone shell, and it's cut into small strips and then effectively glued in place and lacquered in place. As you can see here, it's gorgeous. So you have the standard Pelikan bill clip here. You have the Pelikan finial here on the cap, and it just has one chick. And the cap tapers up to the center band, and if I zoom in here, you'll see it actually says Germany, Pelikan, and then Souvon. Now, look at the abalone shell here, the Raden. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Now, the pen tapers down, and then you have the two rings here, and you have the piston knob, and it is really, really nice. And you can just see here that Raden effect and how it works. And then there you can see the initials of the artist as well for this particular pen that I have here. And then the end cap there is just plain. But it's a piston, and it's a lovely, lovely pen, and it's one that I really, really do love in my collection. It's a pen that I continue to pick up on a regular basis and write with it. I feel that this is a pen that has to be written with, and I really, really love this pen. So for me, the broad nib is superb. There is absolutely nothing that I dislike about this pen. Initially, my first thoughts were I really wanted this in an M1000, but this was a crazy price for an M800, although it's a Raden. And to be honest, I was seeing some M1000 Radens for a similar price. And at that point, I really hoped it was going to be an M1000, but it turned out to be an M800 when it was sort of not released, but advertised sort of for pre-order. But I decided to go for it anyway, and I'm glad I did, because this is a very special pen. So and as you can see, I do love this pen. So let me just do some measurements and weight check, and we'll do some comparisons with other pens. So in terms of length, we are looking at, and this is a standard M800 size, so we're looking at about 142 millimeters in length. The cap is about 67 millimeters, and uncapped from the tip of the tines, we are looking at around about 128 millimeters. So this is, as I said, a standard M800 pen. So like, I can actually put this side by side to the Ocean Swirl, for instance, and you'll see there that it is exactly the same size. So there is really no difference whatsoever. It's just that it's the Ocean Swirl is a really nice pen, but the M800 Royal Gold Raden is, I think, probably about 4 times the price of an Ocean Swirl. So it is very expensive. So you can understand why I was kind of hoping at that price it would be an M1000, but I'm really glad that it turned out to be an M800, because I actually prefer this as an M800. I already have an M1000 in my collection, and although I love it, I do find it a little bit on the oversize. And although I love the bouncy nib on the M1000, it really is a little bit overkill. So for me, I really, really do like this pen. So the entire pen inked up, we're looking at just over 31.5 grams. The cap itself, we are looking at just under 10 grams. And then the pen inked up, the body, we're looking at just under 20.5 grams. So it's a really nice weight. I really do like this pen. So I think what we'll do now, we'll do a pen comparison. So left to right, we have a Visconti Homo Sapiens Bronze Age Marzi, a Visconti Opera Master River Thames, we have a Visconti Homo Sapiens Florentine Hills, a Visconti Homo Sapiens Jade, we have a Pelikan M800 Vibrant Blue, we have the Pelikan M800 Royal Gold Raden, we have a Classic Pens LM1 in Flame Red, we have a Classic Pens LB5 in Kauseki, we have a Sailor 1911 Large with a Naginata Togi, and we have a Platinum 3776. So let's do a writing sample. So this is the Pelikan M800 Royal Gold Raden. Now this has a broad 18 karat gold nib, and the ink we have inked up today, and this is an ink that I dedicated to this pen, is Pilot Iroshizuku Inner Ho. And this is a lovely gold ink, and I've been looking for gold inks for about a year, and this is probably the closest I've got to a gold ink without actually having sparkles in it. Now, in terms of line variation, this is a broad nib, so it's going to put down a broad, wet line. Now, it is 18 karat gold, so you don't want to push it too much, but you can get a little bit more line variation out of it. So you can see here, when I do these figure of eights, that you can get a little bit more line variation on the downstrokes. Now, in terms of wetness, you'll see it's not an awfully wet nib, but it's wet enough. And in terms of like the pen in my hand, I find this size really, really comfortable. Now, I could post this. The cap is quite light. It is a Raden pen. It's got lacquer on it, so I don't want to really post it too much. But I could if I wanted to. But to be honest, I don't need to. But when you do cap it, it's actually going to go mostly over the black area. It does actually hit in a little bit here to the Raden stripe. So for me, I don't find I need to post this pen. But for me, this pen really, really writes well. So this for me is a pen that I absolutely love. And this is probably one of my favourite Pelikans out of all of my Pelikan flock. Now, I actually have a number of Pelikans. I have the M600 turquoise white. I have the M800 Ocean Swirl, the Renaissance Brown, the Vibrant Blue, the Grand Place. We have this one, the Royal Gold Raden. And then I have the M1000. But out of all of these, this is the one that I like the most. It really is a lovely pen. It's not cheap, but for me, it was well worth it. And I am really, really glad that I added this to my fountain pen collection. So that's the review of the Pelikan M800 Royal Gold Raden. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.